Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see The Naked City. I'm Burt Leonard, the producer. This story was not photographed in a studio. Quite the contrary. The actors played out their roles in the streets and the buildings of New York itself.
How about a drink? What we need is a drink.
No, thanks.
Oh, come on.
Faye, I don't quite know how to say this. We won't be seeing each other anymore, you and I.
Just when we were getting so friendly, huh? Say, how about a cigarette, huh? Thanks. What was it that night we met, George? The 7-year itch?
It was a lot of things.
Well, George, when you're lonesome for love, you're ripe for trouble. Now, you just remember that the next time you walk off the reservation.
I'll remember.
Was it Mike that scared you away?
No. Even if Mike hadn't come around.
Well, Mike's nothing to be scared of. You just gotta know how to handle Mike.
Look, I didn't come here to talk about Mike. Well, I'll admit I was a little disturbed at his coming over there like that to the settlement house, threatening me in front of all those kids. Threatening you, too.
And I bet you rallied to my defense. I just bet you did.
Well, what should I have done? Get into a fist fight with him? I'm no good at scenes like this. Faye, I don't want to hurt you, but maybe Mike's coming over there like that snapped me back to my senses. Made me see what a fool I've been, a clown. A 45-year-old, 15-year married clown out on the town.
Shut up, George. I hate confessions. And your guilt showing like a badge.
Sorry.
Oh, sure you're sorry.
Please, be careful.
Of what?
Of Mike.
I'll be as careful as I was when I met him or you.
Faye, who is he?
Now, what does it matter? He's an elevator operator on Park Avenue. What's the matter? You feel cheap because your girl went out with an elevator operator? Huh? George? George? How about a nightcap, huh? One for the road.
It's late.
Goodbye, George.
Lieutenant. All the artwork.
And none of it pretty.
Dan, here's something. Hey, look at that.
George, late tonight. Harry?
Have the laboratory run that for prints. Mr. George B., whoever he is, has been so obliging so far, he's sure not to disappoint us in the matter of a fine, clear set for the files.
It's kind of like tracking an elephant after heavy snow, isn't it, sir?
Janitor Dan says he saw a character leaving the house last night, about 11:30.
All right, what did he look like?
Tall. He was tall.
And?
Gray hair, maybe. Had his hat on, so I couldn't be sure. Looked like a man who read a lot. You know, a professional man.
Did you know a George B., a friend of the dead girl's?
Oh, she never introduced me to any of them.
Dan, there are a lot of names in here. A lot of men's names. From A to even a couple of Z's in it.
We're all very interested in the B's, Jimmy. The George B's. Blake, George Blake. Complete with phone number. Yeah. This is Lieutenant Muldoon, 65th Squad. Have you an address for a Canal 69970?
Going up to Hattie's isn't going to be any picnic. I'll have to straighten out her whole house before she comes home from the hospital. That husband of hers certainly won't be any help. He's all thumbs. Well, honey, you don't have to wait.
No, it's all right.
Can you imagine? My little sister, Hattie. This one makes 3. I could hardly sleep last night thinking about it.
I couldn't sleep well either.
Oh, honey, I forgot to ask you. We were so rushed this morning. How did that ladies' auxiliary thing turn out last night?
Oh, you know those brawls. Kate, I was thinking about a lot of things last night when I got home. Life in general, but mostly about how I was going to tell you something. But you looked so tired sleeping there that I didn't wake you.
George, what's wrong? What are you trying to say?
No, this isn't the place. It can wait.
Oh, I hate to go and leave you when something's troubling you. Tell me, please tell me.
Well, I've been thinking about that other job, the one in California, you know.
We decided we'd wait and see what the Settlement House Board decides about the directorship.
I don't know, Kate. Maybe we'd be better not to wait.
After you work so hard, proving yourself to them day after day, you're the best acting director they ever had.
When did it happen, Kate?
What?
When did we stop reaching out for each other? When did we find this uneventfulness, this tenderness that passes for love?
Will it be any different in California? I'll stay if you want me to.
No, you go along. Say hello to everybody. Give them my love.
No, I will stay.
No. Hattie and the kids need you. Whatever it is with me, I can work it out.
Are you sure?
Sure. Maybe you were right. Maybe I was just scared and wanted to run. Afraid the board's decision would go against me.
Well, call me as soon as you know.
Promise.
Here in the settlement house, children can come off the streets and find warmth. Here, sisterhoods and credit unions meet. Here, marriage and family problems get judicious handling. It's a tiny world of its own. And its son is George Blake.
Want the 2 bills? Okay. All right, you'll get 2 too. Good morning, Mr. Blake.
Blake, what do you think?
Well, it's wonderful, Mr. Schwartz.
Me and Grandma Moses, eh? Well, she don't start painting until she's well along in years, after her children are all grown up. Mr. Blake, do you think I have a chance?
Every chance in the world, Mr. Schwartz.
Good morning, Mr. Blake.
Good morning, Miss Gray. Could you give me a copy of the annual report? I want to give it a quick look before the board meeting.
They've already started, Mr. Blake.
What? You weren't supposed to meet till noon. What's going on, Miss Gray?
I think this is it.
Well, let me have the report anyway. Thank you.
The mail's kind of heavy this morning, Mr. Blake. Would you like to get out of it right away? Mr. Blake, the mail.
Oh, let it go. I don't want to be disturbed for a while.
The paper, sir.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Miss Gray. Get me Westport, Connecticut, capital 21180. All right. Jack, this is George. Is Kate there? Well, she should be. She left almost 2 hours ago. No message. I'll try later. Please, be careful.
Of what?
Of Mike. Who is he?
What does it matter? He's an elevator operator on Park Avenue.
All right, Harris. Thank you. Jimmy?
Yes, sir?
Well, Blake it is all the way. The lab matched the prints in the cigarette case with the set we took from his desk at the settlement house.
Well, it figures.
Now, just why, lad?
Well, sir, I've been looking over his personal record. It's too good. 20 years he never took a vacation and not one black mark. Not a single demerit, not even a breath of scandal. He just never let up. It's hardly human. Well, what I mean, sir, is, it seems to me that people have to let off a little steam now and then. Kind of like a pressure cooker. If the steam can't get out, well, pow.
May I quote you on that, Detective Halloran?
Anytime, sir.
Dan, the desk downstairs called and said Mrs. Blake is on the way up.
Mrs. George Blake?
Yeah.
All right. I better talk to her alone, Jim. Bring those reports in when you finish them.
All right.
Now, come in, Mrs. Blake. Sit down.
There was a policeman outside our door. He asked me where my husband was, and he told me that you wanted to see me.
We do indeed, ma'am.
But why? What's happened?
Well, have you spoken to your husband this morning, ma'am?
Well, I was on my way to my sister's, but George seemed so strange this morning that I got off at 125th Street and came back. I called his office, but Miss Gray said that he was gone for the day. Please, tell me what's happened.
Well, did you ever hear of a Miss Fay Roberts? Mr. Blake never spoke of her to you.
No.
Well, that's not unusual under the circumstances.
What do you mean?
She was a friend of his. A special kind of friend.
Oh, yes, I remember. George, spoke of her. She was something at the settlement house, you know, where George works.
Sorry, Mrs. Blake, we've been to the settlement house. There's no Mrs. Roberts there, nor is your husband there.
He went off with this girl. Is that it? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
She was murdered last night in her apartment.
You can't think that he's not guilty.
Well, Mrs. Blake, we searched his office at the settlement house. He'd not taken any funds from the settlement house, but he had taken something else, something much more serious. A .25 caliber automatic.
He has a permit for that.
Well, a premise permit, Mrs. Blake, for the protection of the money there, but no permit to put it in his pocket and walk out.
Oh, he's been so odd lately. Did his secretary tell you that his life was threatened last week?
No.
Well, it was, right at the settlement house. Why don't you check that? Ask some of the young people who were there. They saw it.
Get on it, Jimmy.
Here are the reports.
Oh, George couldn't have done it. He couldn't have.
You just keep right on saying that, Mrs. Blake, over and over again. Sometimes it even helps a little.
The objective is a man called Mike. Mike, with no last name. Only an impression etched in violence. A single flame of a man among millions of flames. Someone who must be found somewhere among these buildings. Fay had said he was an elevator operator on Park Avenue. But where on Park Avenue? And in which building?
Excuse me, miss. I wonder if I could have some information, please.
Fire away.
I'm looking for one of your members, a man named Mike Jensen.
What do you want with him?
You know him?
Mean guy, if he's the one I'm thinking about. Always gives me a hard time, never pays his dues. Thinks the whole world's against him. He in a jam or something?
I just want to talk to him.
Okay, Mac, he's all yours. With my blessing. Works over at the Manor Building.
Thank you. Is there a phone I could borrow somewhere in private?
Mr. Lusby's out. Take his line.
Thank you. Lieutenant Muldoon, please. Dan? Yeah, this is Jimmy. Listen, that lead Mrs. Blake gave us turned out to be a pretty good one. Yeah. Somebody tried to break up the settlement house dance last week and mop the floor up with George Blake. Uh-huh. Well, I talked to some of the kids, and they say they overheard this fellow threaten to kill both George and Fay if he didn't stop trying to see her. Kids say George tried to reason with him, but, yeah, well, they called him Mike. Yeah, Mike. So, well, I looked in Fay's little black book. Yeah. Well, I found 3 Mikes listed there, each under a different number. I checked out 2 of them. They didn't match the descriptions the kids had given us. But one of them did. I went to his house. He wasn't there, but the landlord was there. Uh-huh. Well, judging by the landlord's description, this guy is more like it. Landlord said he worked as an elevator operator. Didn't know where, so I went up to the union office. I'm there now. They told me he works at a place called the Manor Building. You know where that is? Yeah, well, I'm on my way over there now. All right. Okay, I'll meet you there right away then. Swell. Bye, Dan.
please.
Float. I've been looking for you, Mike.
Hey, man, haven't you heard? You're hot. You're #1 on the police grab list.
How do you know?
I read the papers. You murdered Fay and left your cigarette case there. Like a compass for the cops.
I've come to get you, Mike. I've come to bring you in.
I don't see any Marines with you.
Look again. Alone, the police would never believe me. But with the two of us together, I know they'll pick the guilty man.
Okay, bud. I was gonna let the cops take care of you. It looks like I'm gonna have to do it personal now.
That Starter's gonna remember me, Mike.
He sees a million guys every day in the year.
Push your hit, Mike. If you kill me, the police will trace
They'll do nothing. They're not gonna find your body for a long, long time. When they do, they'll think you jumped down the elevator shaft and took your own life. Yeah, that'd add up. You being guilty and all.
Excuse me, Mike Jensen. Is he on duty now?
He's sure popular today.
Somebody else asking for him?
Yep.
Man about 40, brain, hair, distinguished looking?
Yep, he's up with Mike now. Mike's stalled up there, but the power's still on. That's funny.
Is this thing connected to the elevator?
Yes, Jensen's on 3, trying to talk.
Jensen?
Blake, this is the police. We know you're up there. Now listen to me. Jensen!
Sam, Jensen's got Blake up there in the elevator, and they're heading towards the top floor and fast.
#3 coming down now. Which door is 3?
That one.
Stop it!
All right, Jensen. Frank, have the starter bring that elevator up directly under Jensen. Or he'll fall. Have him bring it up slowly.
Hurry up, Frank! Hurry up!
Hello. Hello, starter. Hello. Never mind, Frank. Well, you better put that back in the safe, Mr. Blake. And it's the first opportunity I've had to tell you that your board's behind you 100%. They wanted you to know.
Funny how little that seems to matter now.
It will, Mr. Blake. In time, it will.
I suppose there's a lot you have to ask me, but would you mind if I called home first? Kate?
If I lost you somewhere in these past few years, darling, I'm so glad to get you back again.
There are 8 million stories in the naked city. This has been one of them.